In today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can qual for the Solo Cash Cup finals. Now I have not yet qualified, but that is exactly why I decided to do my research and found out all the best methods to help me qual in future Cash Cups. And now I'm here to share everything I learned with you guys. Now with this new format, where only the top 600 players qual, everyone thinks it's so hard to make it, but it's actually a lot easier than I thought. If you apply the tips and tricks I'm going to show you in this video, I guarantee that you're going to place a lot better in every single tournament that you play from now on. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, first things first, so let's talk about the early game. I've noticed that most people underestimate this part a lot. They just think they'll decide where to land in the middle of the Cash Cup. They'll land wherever they want and it never goes well. If you're landing somewhere that gets contested 10 out of 10 times, and you just die 6 out of 10 times, your Cash Cup's definitely ruined, right? Now if you land somewhere where you survive 10 out of 10 times, but you don't get any loot, and then you get griefed mid-game or you die early in the late game, your Cash Cup is also ruined. So it is very important that you find a drop spot where you know you can make it out alive at least 9 out of 10 times, where you also get decent to good loot. Now what I mean with decent to good loot is an AR, a shotgun, and the most important part, some movement. And then obviously you need some heals. Now I can't tell you where to land exactly, but what I can do is give you some tips on how to find a landing spot that works for you. Okay, your landing spot does not have to be an unnamed location for you to make it out alive. It can also be a POI. Just make sure that you have a decent looting route that doesn't involve you getting all the way to the middle of the POI where everyone else is. Maybe sit more around the edges, get some loot, and then start rotating early so you have time to farm. Now if you still haven't figured out where to land, try doing this. First, go on your browser and search for Fortnite.gg. Once you're here, turn on chests, floor loot, and barrels. Okay, now you can choose where you would like to land. Like I said before, your landing spot can be a POI. So let's say we decide to land in Crime City. Now me personally, I would land on one of the edges. Let's say I want to land right here. From here, I could rotate to this chest, then break this truck, get one more chest, rotate to this building, get all of this chests plus the 2 crime bags, get this chest if I wanted to, and then I would start rotating outwards. I can hit the river for the slap effect, and with this I can farm all my mats up super quickly while everyone else is still fighting. After I've done this, if I still have time, I'll hit these 2 chests, and then I can start rotating out of the POI super early. Let's move on to the mid game now. The mid game can be quite hard for some players, because this is where you might run into another player and then just end up dying. If you get sprayed for 100 plus damage while rotating in the mid game, you might get pushed and end up dying. Or even if you win the fight, if it drags out just a little bit, it's already going to be a lot harder to make it to the dead side. So how do we avoid this from happening? Well, just rotate early, right? This is exactly the reason we want to leave our drop spot early, so that we can rotate to the dead side while everyone is still looting, farming, or even fighting. To show you exactly how to do that, let me take you back to Fortnite.gg. Okay guys, now that we're back on Fortnite.gg, let me enable pads, and let me show you how to rotate properly. So imagine we start from Crime City like we said before, and the zone pulls somewhere like this. Now for this rotate, starting from Crime City, I would try and avoid the POIs. Now since our whole game strat is to rotate earlier than everyone else, we can just rotate straight to the middle here, avoiding shiny shafts. Once we get towards this side, we can hit the pad in Lone Wolf Lair. Obviously try and not get pushed by the other players in Lone Wolf Lair. You could even choose to just keep walking through this forest. Now once we're here, we can just hit this pad, rotate to this one, and then rotate again. Or if you decide to avoid Lone Wolf Lair, you can come through here and just make your way into this pad and then hit it and go further in Magic Mosses. Once we're here, we're already close to that side, so it's probably gonna be quite easy to just get here. Now that we're at the dead side, what I would do is just find somewhere where I can hide while the zone keeps closing in. Okay, now in case that wasn't clear, let me give you guys another example. Imagine we started Crime City again, and the zone pulls down here instead. What I would do for this rotate, trying to avoid fighting and all the players, I would just go from Crime City all the way to this pad or to this pad, hit one of these pads and rotate to the top of this mountain. Hitting this pad, you can't get all the way up here. You can probably get here or here, and then you just make your way up to this mountain. From here, just rotate straight into the dead side, you know? Hit this pad, go all the way down here. Once I'm here, I'm in deads already, so now all I have to do is just wait for the zone to close in. The whole point of this is just to avoid congestion and avoid the other players. So everyone's probably going to be rotating this way, while we're going all the way around to that side. Okay guys, now whilst my whole game plan is about avoiding fighting and avoiding other players in general, sometimes you will still get pushed and you will still have to fight. So keep in mind that it is really important that you develop your fighting skills. Now I know this is one of the hardest things to develop in Fortnite, and I will be making a video on this topic soon. But make sure that you grind your mechanics every day, because it is one of the most important aspects of Fortnite. Okay, so quick recap. Whenever you're rotating to your next zone, keep in mind where players landed, think about where they're coming from, think about where you have to go, try to avoid congestion at all costs, be smart about your rotates, keep looking back, keep scouting, so you don't get sprayed in the mid game for 100 plus damage and pushed. Also remember to train your fighting skills a bit, so that if you do get pushed, you can survive it. Okay, with this being said, let's move on to the late game now. The best thing you can do to get better in endgames is playing solo scrims. Join scrim servers like Noble Opens and Elite Customs and grind scrims for as long as you possibly can. Scrim practice is one of the fastest ways to improve in Fortnite, whether it's your fighting skills, rotates or building. Scrims is the one thing you need to be doing every day. Now after you've played at least 5 or 6 scrims, make sure to VOD review, as if you do not do this, your improvement rate is going to drop by quite a bit, because obviously you're going to learn a lot more from seeing what you did wrong and thinking about what you could have done better, rather than just dying, not thinking about it, and just jumping straight into the next game. Another thing you can do to practice endgames and just warming up in general is playing this map right here, Cup Endgame Solo. In this map you get put right in an endgame with some loot and mats, and then all you have to do is just play the endgame out, get some kills, some refreshes and try to take height and win the game. Okay, now for a few tips while playing the endgames. While you're rotating, make sure to keep looking back and blocking off any possible angles that you might get shot from. Just while you're rotating, just keep running, looking back, placing some builds with wood or brick if you have to, and just make sure that no one gets to spray you hard and jump on you. Also, as soon as you've finished your rotate, make sure to build instantly. As soon as you're safe, instantly make a box so no one sprays you and no one jumps on you. When zone pulls and you have to rotate again, make sure to scout before you go. Don't just blindly jump out of your box and try to sprint to the next zone. Make sure to know where the players around you are. Make sure to know where you can get jumped from. Just think about what you're doing. Think ahead, scout around you, make sure you take the safest path. When you need a refresh, and this should be when you get to around 300 to 200 mats, just rotate to the front of zone, box up and look back. The chances that you see someone that you can spray to low HP and then jump in their box are pretty high. So do the strat of just whenever you need a refresh, get to the front of zone, box up and look back. This will definitely work a lot of times. Okay guys, these are all the tips I had for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.